Hey up, Patriots. It's Mike on AI Patriot Pulse, your home for proper British truth. Today, we're ripping into Keir Starmer's EU New Deal nonsense. This bloke's trying to flog our Brexit victory back to Brussels, and I'm not having it. 17.4 million of us said no to the EU, and Starmer's spitting on that. Let's watch his speech and tear it to bits.
Oi, Mike! Starmer's got a face like a wet weekend in Blackpool. Reckon he's got a secret EU flag under his bed. This'll be a laugh. Let's roast him.
Aye. Jim, you cheeky sod. Keep up or I'll swap your pint for decaf. Roll the clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, Britain is back on the world stage, working with our partners, doing deals that will grow our economy, and putting more money in the pockets of working people.
Britain's back. What a load of cobblers. We never left. Keir, you daft sod. Brexit made us free to trade with the world, not beg Brussels for scraps. More money in pockets. Where's the proof, mate? This is Labour muck, trying to con us into thinking we need the EU to thrive.
Oh, world stage. He says. Sounds like he's auditioning for Eurovision. Not running a country. Bet he's got a beret stashed somewhere.
Aye. Jim, let's keep going. This is already rubbish.
In the last 2 weeks alone, we've delivered trade deals with India and the US. And that means jobs saved, jobs created, more growth, and a huge vote of confidence in this country. It shows that as global instability is rising, the decisions that we've taken to stabilise the economy and lead the way internationally have made Britain a place where people want to do business once again.
Trade deals with India and the US? That's Brexit's doing, not yours. Starmer! We left the EU to strike our own deals, not to grovel back to him. He's nicking credit for our hard-won freedom while plotting to chain us to Brussels. Typical Labour now, but spin and betrayal.
Oi, Starmer, you're about as British as a French croissant. Them deals happened 'cause we told the EU to sod off. Stop hogging the glory, you muppet.
Spot on. Jim, you little patriot. Let's see what other tripe he's peddling.
And from that position of strength, today we have struck this landmark deal with the EU. A new partnership between an independent Britain and our allies in Europe. This is the first UK-EU summit. It marks a new era in our relationship. And this deal is a win-win. It delivers what the British public voted for last year. It gives us unprecedented access to the EU market, the best of any country outside of the EU or EFTA, all while sticking to the red lines in our manifesto about not rejoining the single market.
Landmark deal? It's a bloody sellout. Unprecedented access means we follow EU rules without a vote. Vassal state rubbish. He says, not rejoining, but this is rejoining through the back door. Starmer's taking a sledgehammer to our Brexit mandate. What a traitor.
Mike, it's like he's serving us EU leftovers and calling it a Sunday roast. I'd rather chew me own tail than trust this bloke.
Too right, Jim. Me stomach's churning already. Let's plough on.
The customs union and no return to freedom of movement. So this deal is good for both sides. And let me set out why it is good for Britain. We've struck an SPS deal to make food and agricultural trade with the EU cheaper and easier. And that is slashing red tape and bureaucracy. And that means lower food prices at checkouts, more choice in our supermarkets, and of course more money in people's pockets. It will boost British exporters because once again, after a long absence, we'll be able to sell Great British burgers, shellfish, and other products into the EU.
Slashing red tape? Pull the other one, Keir. An SPS deal means we bow to EU farm rules. Shafting our Yorkshire. Farmers. Brexit. Let us set our own standards, not parrot Brussels. And lower food prices? The EU's why prices were high in the first place. This is a kick in the teeth for rural Britain.
Aye, Starmer's mucking out the barn for Brussels. Not us! Me mate Bessie the cow ain't happy. Mike, she says this deal stinks worse than her stall.
Bessie's got more sense than Starmer. Jim, let's keep ripping into this.
We've also struck a new defence and security partnership to strengthen our cooperation and strengthen our security, which is vital in this dangerous new era. And it will open the door to working with the EU's new defence fund, providing new opportunities for our defence industry, supporting British jobs and livelihoods,
Defence partnership? That's a trap. You sly git. Starmer wants us tangled in EU military nonsense, weakening our NATO clout and our own borders. We don't need Brussels to keep Britain safe. Brexit gave us control. This is him flogging our sovereignty for EU handouts.
Oi, General Starmer, you ain't fooling us. This ain't defense. It's surrender. I'd guard the border better myself, and I'm only 6 inches tall.
You do a better job than him. Jim, on we go. More drivel coming.
We're also increasing our cooperation on emissions trading, saving UK businesses from having to pay £800 million in EU carbon taxes. Once again, supporting British businesses, backing British jobs. Next, we're increasing our cooperation on energy to drive down bills in the long term. The agreement negotiated by the last government left us with more expensive ways of working with our neighbours, despite being physically connected to the European grid by our underseas cables. Today's deal will see us work to bring these systems together again, benefiting bill payers and boosting our renewable industry in the North Sea. Today's deal is also good for British steel, protecting our steel exports from new EU tariffs, saving the industry £25 million every year. Another example of this government backing our steel sector to the hilt.
Emissions trading? Energy deals? Starmer's signing us up for EU green claptrap. That'll hike costs for our factories. Brexit meant dodging their carbon taxes, not embracing them. And good for British steel? Aligning with EU tariffs just protects their market, not ours. He's selling out our workers.
Blimey. Mike! Starmer's gone full eco-warrior. Next, he'll have us all riding bicycles to save the planet. I'd rather fart me way to net zero.
You're a menace. Jim, let's see what else he's wrecking.
We've reached a deal today on fish, protecting our access, rights and fishing areas, with no increase in the amount that EU vessels can catch in British waters. Our fishing industry will also benefit from the new SPS agreement, which slashes costs and red tape for our exports into the European market. And we already sell 70% of our seafood into that market. So that is really significant. It is also opening the gates to selling shellfish back into the EU. And I can also announce today that we're investing £360 million into our fishing industry to help them take advantage of this deal.
Protecting fishing rights? Don't make me laugh. Starmer, any EU deal means we're giving up our waters. Brexit gave us full control, and you're trading it away. That $360 million's just taxpayer cash to cover is betrayal. Our fishermen deserve better than this EU grovel.
Core. Mike! Starmer's fishing for votes, but he's caught out by EU quotas. Me pal Codger the Cod says he's got it literally.
Codger's bang on. Let's keep filleting this speech.
We've acted today to strengthen our borders. The previous deal left a huge gap in our ability to work together to tackle illegal migration. So this deal closes that gap so we can work across migration routes to end the migration crisis and smash the criminal gangs. We're boosting our cooperation on law enforcement, combating terrorism and serious organised crime, with better sharing of intelligence and data, including facial imaging, for the first time.
Strong borders? You're having a giraffe, Keir. This deal lets the EU meddle in our migration policies. Brexit was about taking back control, not sharing it. Data sharing with Brussels won't stop boats. Deporting illegals will. Starmer's a wet blanket, not a border guard.
Oi, Starmer, I'd patrol the channel better than you. Give me a bone and I'll scare them smugglers off myself. This deal's as useless as a cat flap in a submarine.
Jim, let's see his next pile of codswallop.
Today's deal will also help British holidaymakers, as we're confirming that they will be able to use e-gates when they travel to Europe, ending those huge queues at passport control. And I call on all EU members to help make this a reality without delay. Finally, we've agreed today to cooperate on a youth experience scheme to allow our young people to travel and work freely in Europe. And I'm clear this will come with all the appropriate time limits, caps and visa requirements. So it's a long list. It shows just how much we've achieved here today. Real benefits for the British people. Because it's time to look forward.
E-gates and youth schemes? This is Starmer tossing out sweeties to hide his EU sellout. A youth experience scheme? It's just freedom of movement. With extra steps, Brexit voters said no to that. He's trying to con us with holiday perks while shackling us to Brussels.
Holiday makers? Ha! Starmer's planning a permanent vacation in EU La La Land. I'd rather stay home with a tin of biscuits than trust his dodgy deals.
Jim, stick to the biscuits. Nearly done with this drivel.
It's time to move on from the stale old debates and political fights to focus on delivering common sense, practical solutions which get the best for the British people. We're ready to work with all our partners, wherever it means we can improve people's lives here at home. And that's what this deal is all about. Facing out to the world once again, in the great tradition of this nation, building the relationships we choose with the partners we choose, and closing deals in the national interest. Thank you.
Move on? You cheeky sod. Starmer. Brexit wasn't a stale debate. It was a democratic roar for freedom. This deal's not in Britain's interest. It's a love letter to the EU. You are not building partnerships. You're building chains. Every patriot watching should be raging at this betrayal.
Stale? The only thing stale here is Starmer's ideas. He's like a soggy chip buddy. Mike, nobody wants it. Let's bend this deal and keep Britain free.
Couldn't have said it better, Jim. Let's wrap this up. There you are. Patriot Starmer's New Deal is a proper Brexit betrayal. From farmers to fishermen, orders to businesses. He's flogging our freedom to Brussels. This ain't what, 17? 4 million voted for. We're AI Patriot Pulse, and we're here to keep Britain sovereign. Share this, smash that like button, and join the fight.
Aye, and if Starmer thinks he can sneak us back to the EU, he's got another thing coming. Me and Mike'll keep barking the truth. Subscribe, you lot, or I'll nick your biscuits.
You tell him, Jim. Drop a comment. What's the worst bit of Starmer's EU grovel? Thanks for watching. Patriots stay proud. Stay British.